And a good morning to you. Welcome inside the Bottom Line. Lanny 44 River along with you. Glad to have you here this morning. I had to look. I'm still playing with new equipment, so I have to make sure everything works right. Glad to have you along with us here this morning. Beautiful day. Going to be hot. Talking about record-setting heat by Friday, just in case anybody's wondering or cares. Record-setting heat by Friday. Let me give you some updated scores from last night. We'll start in the 1A softball playoffs. Cherryville went down last night to South Stanley. South Stanley, number one seed. Mm-hmm. They lost 13-1. Bandy's, another local team, they fell to Anson. 5-4. East Lincoln softball, they're number one seed in the 3A. They defeated High Brighton 2-1. And then Mooresville, the other area school, fell to East Forsyth 4-2. So that leaves us East Lincoln as the sole softball representative in the area. And then in baseball, Cherryville defeated East Wilkes 4-3 in the 1A. In the 2A, Lincoln Charter fell to Community School of Davidson 15-8.
They're good.
And then we had nobody in the 4A locally. In the 3A, it was South Rowan over East Rowan, 8-3.
Those are both really good teams.
North Lincoln over West Henderson, 4-3.
Yep.
East Lincoln, you could hear that game on WLON, defeated Jesse Carson 4-2. And St. Stephen's beat Ledford, the number 2 seed, 10-0. Shut them out. And so that's going to put a matchup of East Lincoln at St. Stephen's on Friday.
Yep.
And that will be North Lincoln at South Rowan. Now, if we were flip-flopping, which we normally do, we would be picking up the North Lincoln game. But since we got basically two local teams with St. Stephen's and East Lincoln, and nobody's going to cover St. Stephen's, so we're going to do that game. So our guys will be at St. Stephen's, and we could actually have a North Lincoln-East Lincoln matchup for the Western Finals coming up. So,
I mean, and I'm going to tell you, Lane, you and I talked about this, and before, even a month and a half ago, about Fred T. Ford, St. Stephen's, East Lincoln, and Lincolnton. Mm-hmm. East Lincoln, North Lincoln being in that 3A league, that may be the best baseball league next to Charlotte, Raleigh, Wilmington, and then, of course, Greenville, East Carolina area, where those schools are. This may be the best, 4 teams in a league because any 4 of them could go to the state championship. Now Ford, lost out, had played well but just got beat, a couple, last week. But East and St. and North Lincoln, that's some of the best baseball I've seen in this area in a long time. And we see a lot of these kids. I mean, a lot of these kids train.
The thing of it is,
over here,
there's some hitters. There's always hitters in baseball.
Right.
The key in high school baseball, you got to have some arms.
Yeah, no,
you got to have some arms.
Right. Hitting it, makes it a lot of fun, but having that power arm or 3 in this case. Really, it makes baseball good. It's exciting. It's kind of like watching, the Legion, years ago when you had, when you basically, a combination team like, either Hickory, Cherryville, or Shelby, they could have, 3 number 1s from 3 different high schools that are on their staff. And, I mean, I was rolling guys out there at Hickory that, a couple of them, got drafted.
Right.
Tyler Poole and Jeremy Knoll. And, I mean, it was just crazy. Well, that's kind of what we're looking at with these teams. We'll keep you
updated.
Yeah.
Richie, good morning. Milton, good morning.
Good morning,
Big Mo,
Milton.
good morning. Lincoln Pauley, good morning. Lincoln says that PGA a beer is $18. My question is, was it good? Was it cold? Because I know you bought one.
Hey, other question, was it tall or was it short?
Yeah. Alan, good morning. Glad to have you. Lincoln Pauley, I'll switch gears because evidently you weren't here yesterday when I asked the question. We were talking about the golfer on the Champions Tour that got disqualified because he had too many notes. I'd like to hear what your thoughts are. Let me tell you something that Link did. Okay. And this is we talked together at Gaston College, so this is 20 years ago, 25 years ago. Link, I want to say he won club championship at least one time at Glen Oaks. Link's a great golfer.
Oh, wow.
And he did okay. Link says he has a grandson, George Lincoln Pauley Jr., is playing for North Lincoln.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So
that's a great name.
Link created a yardage book
okay.
for Glen Oaks. Sketched it by hand,
right.
but
Presented
you
it to the club and
well,
said you can.
Bill didn't like that. Bill didn't like all that knowledge on the course.
Yeah.
Bill didn't like the courses marked. You're right, Deanna. John Mark Britton. Thank you.
What?
Link's grandson is John Mark Britton. Deanna's his daughter's son. Deanna used to be real active in she's just correcting her dad on air. I love that. That's important that you do these things. I know it was spell check. That's good. You tell them, Link. Spell check's the evil of everything.
Wait a minute.
Link's grandson
Yeah.
is John Mark Britton. That's the kid that plays for North Lincoln on North Lincoln's baseball team. Somehow he got it confused with George Lincoln Pauley Jr. That might be Lincoln's name. Might be Link's name. I don't know.
Well, either way, those are two incredibly fantastic.
I just called him out,
names.
Deanna. I called him out.
I mean, those two names.
And
are
Deanna's
just
his
really
daughter.
good,
Deanna was one of my students at Gaston College.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, that's
So they're both out there listening.
Wow,
They're both out there listening.
My son.
Your
Link's
son is George Lincoln.
Here
Pauley
we go.
Jr. Okay. All right.
Now
talk to me about should the golfer have been disqualified, Link? Should the golfer have been disqualified for having too many notes? Do you like the change that the PGA made? I remember, and I'm pretty sure I'm correct about this, a lot of caddies used to go out and step off the holes before the round, early in the morning. Once they moved the holes for the next day's round or that night,
right.
they would go out and okay, thank you, Link. That's what I thought.
I'm going to tell you what.
That answers that question.
Hey, you messing with me? And you get too many of them things. Now, I don't carry it away. But I just plant a bush in the middle of the fairway in the middle of the night. Of course, I'm being funny. Yeah,
now,
I would never.
Let me tell one Link story here. Okay, we used to play. There were some of us that played golf at Gaston, and we played in a little captain's choice tournament, and Link played with us. Okay, Link's like a real golfer.
Right.
I mean, like a real golfer.
Right.
We were playing at Link said they outlawed the putting book. That we were playing at the municipal course in Gastonia. It's off Union Road. It's been purchased now, but if I'm not mistaken, that's where we were playing. Well, for us hacker golfers, Lincoln never played there. He said, now where do I need to play this shot? It's little dog leg. And we told him exactly where to play it. And he played it there. Okay, so we had a shot. The problem was when he got up there, he was like, why did you tell me here? I could have hit it 60 more yards. Well, we didn't know that because we didn't. He put it where we told him because that's the way we played it, but he played it differently. He played
I could hit it 60 more.
Yeah. Why'd you want me to hit it here? I could have hit it up there. Well, we can't, so we didn't know that.
I'm just looking for one clean iron shot about every 4 holes, okay?
There you go.
That actually looks and resembles something like it.
There you go.
That baseball swing, that inside-out thing that keeps
and the baseball grip. I baseball grip it too.
Golly.
Yeah. Oh, goodness. All right, let me move on.
Good stuff.
Let's see here.
Oh, one thing I was going to tell you is I put a post out on Facebook yesterday. There's a lot of this time of the year is the end of the school year, and so a lot of the high schools, the kids are in the weight room or working hard. And it's all not just in our area, but all over. I follow East Surrey because of Trent, Loman that was local, and many other schools where I have friends or my dad had friends that have sons or grandsons coaching, whatever. But what I've noticed is the renewed vitality of what the weight room can do, both for you physically but also mentally. And I think coming out of the pandemic, a lot of these kids have gotten back into it and been able to embrace that, and it's just, my point is, just really nice to see that. And like in Maiden this week, we're at the high school, they're in second, fourth period, whatever, they're doing their max outs this week, and we've got a lot of kids that have really jumped up, and as do the other schools. But I saw Fred T. Ford, Bunker Hill's doing some things, St. Newton, everybody, but in Eastburg, it's just nice to see that compliment to the kids and the coaches.
My generation, okay, that you were playing in the mid 70s. we didn't have a lot of workout facilities. As I said, we only had a universal machine.
Right.
Okay, we got one Olympic set, but that was not as critical or done as often. But the difference was, all of us worked outside.
No, I was getting ready.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
It was a different lifestyle. That it wasn't like you weren't a lot of physical activity involved in your life when you were outside sports.
Well, no, you're right, and that's why times are different. People say, "Oh, these kids and their arms and all." Well, that's true, because when you were going out throwing hay bales, and slinging straw everywhere, or working on the farm, which most people did, back, just 40 years ago, today's kids work their thumbs out, right? They don't work. And I say, I'm not talking about all kids, but a majority of them do not have that physical labor as we've continued to transform our society from a production-based to a service-based society, right? So, what happens is that's why skill-specific training is so important with the body, because when you grew up, Lanny, when I grew up, we had to work outside. We had to cut firewood. We had to push mow the grass.
Well, it's like Link said, pitching bales of hay is a workout. I mean,
but
that's how I worked in the summer. I made money like $2 an hour hauling hay.
Killing it, at $2 an hour. And it just built you all through here. And females alike, everybody worked on the farm, or in the yard, or, it was just a different style of life back then. And so today, when people talk about kids being soft, or not being as tough, and fighting in the streets, or just in the neighborhood, the world is so different compared to what most of us listening and grew up to. It's tough. I mean, when I was a kid living in the eastern part of the state, we would walk through the tobacco field, take the shortcut to the baseball field down at Lake Waccamaw. And it wasn't anything to see any of my friends, even at 9 and 10 years old, out there working with their dads.
That's what Link said. He worked in the tobacco fields.
Link what?
Link said he worked in the tobacco fields.
Oh, well, he knows what I'm talking about. Yeah. The smell in the barn is incredible. I've never been a tobacco guy, though, like dip or chew or anything or whatever. But anyway, it was just a different world down there. Like, my dad was coaching high school football down at Hallsboro, which is now East Columbus, but it's Hallsboro. Most of the kids would miss the Labor Day week and play on Friday night because that was the week that, a lot of times, I say it what, a lot of times that's
certain crops were coming in.
Yeah, that's when tobacco was mainly harvested.
Oh, yeah.
And to your point, there's so many, it's just different today. So that's why places like, the lab and, other workout places are so important for kids, so they can develop the right muscular structure and callous the body, which is a great word that you've used. I mean, I've used that all. I stole that.
It's just the way it is.
It's true, to get the body prepared, where you used to callous when you throw each other on the ground or trip somebody, jump on them, and play ball in the backyard.
Yep.
When we played baseball in the backyard, we didn't catch the ball at the base to get them out. If you got hit with the ball, guess what? You're out, and you had to hit below the waist.
No,
I mean, dude, we were.
I know.
Everybody has their story, but I just think that's something for maybe people to reflect on before they start being judgmental and critical of kids. This is the environment that we have created for them to live in. So therefore, I don't know if the blame needs to go to the kid as much as it does, maybe the people that created the environment. And then it's okay to be different, but how do we go from here?
You still have to have that aspect of sports, to where it used to occur naturally. Now it's got to be injected into their lifestyle to make it happen.
That's why you see specialization kicking in, because it's so different. Because things used to be community based, and to some degree they still are, but because of the lack of specifics that are involved in a scientific world, people tend to go to specialization to get the most enhanced experience. I hope the most enhanced experience possible. I'm trying to, but that's the way it's going, and it's unfortunate, but it's true.
Going back to our golf tournament, now it's starting to come back to me, Link. That's a long time ago. We used to put the college put that golf tournament on, and people complain because I forgot we did win, and it was me and Link and Al Knight and Mark Shellman, I believe. Link, I think that we all worked in the IT department at Gaston College teaching. We were all teachers, but I believe we did win. I think that was our team, and people complained. And you could put any team you wanted to in there. So
it's Glavin, Smoltz, Maddox, and Avery
that
right
was
there,
us.
baby.
That was us.
Holy
yep.
cow.
Link said I was right. So I appreciate you bringing that up, Link, because I had kind of forgotten about that. Let me take a break. We come back. Some of the details are coming out. You know, there's another spring football league coming online next year, XFL.
Yeah.
I'll give you some details and also some viewership numbers for the USFL that I think will surprise you a little bit. Back in a moment.
Untangling your headphones, finding the right remote, saying goodbye to your favorite shirt that hasn't fit in 10 years. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with auto owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who live in your community and answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like finding a new favorite shirt. That's simple human sense.
Call Mooney Insurance in Maiden or East Lincoln Insurance in Denver or visit mooneyinsurance.com.
Times convenience stores are more than convenient. They're your neighborhood store, your store. With locations in Lincoln, Catawba, Gaston, Iredell, and Mecklenburg counties, there's one near you. Times convenience stores have the right items at the right price, from snacks, cold drinks, and light meals from the grill, and there's always a special to save you time and money. Times has what you need. Times convenience stores, there's one near you. Regardless of where you're going, there's one on your way. Remember, there's always time to stop by Times. Have you thought about when you would like to retire? One of your major assets is planning for retirement is time, and you lose a little of it each day. The longer you wait to start accumulating capital for retirement, the harder it's going to be. How should you plan for retirement? Start by calculating approximately how much capital you will need at retirement, then estimate how much you will have to put away each year. Finally, carefully choose the investments in which you will invest. Stifel Nicholas can assist you. Call Ford Rembert today at 828-624-7300. Stifel Nicholas, member SIPC, and the New York Stock Exchange.
First Federal Savings Bank has been serving Lincoln County since 1940. And as it has been from the beginning, customer service is a priority to First Federal Savings Bank. They want to get to know you by name. First Federal Savings Bank has the convenience, the products, and the services that the larger banks have, but with hometown people that you see throughout your community. Stop in and visit one of their 4 convenient locations and see what First Federal Savings Bank has to offer you. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Whether it's a sit-down meal or a call-in for the drive-thru, Brookwood Cafe and Catering is the answer. A variety of meats, vegetables, and desserts cooked daily, or a hot sandwich from the grill, they have what you're looking for to satisfy your taste buds. If you need catering from 5 to 500, Brookwood has you covered as well. Stop by Brookwood Cafe and Catering at 202 Providence Mill Road in Maiden. Don't forget breakfast daily till 11 a.m. Open Tuesday 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., Wednesday through Saturday 6 a.m. till 8 p.m., and Sunday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Call 828-428-8944 to place your order today.
Covenant Church began as a vision of just over 100 people in 1984. Since then, Covenant Church has grown and currently located at 2168 Gastonia Highway in Lincoln. The Sunday schedule includes early morning worship at 8:30, Sunday school at 9:45, and morning worship at 10:45. Their ministries extend beyond Sunday. Visit their website at www.covenantchurch.church to see all they have to offer, and better yet, stop by and see for yourself. Covenant Church may be just what you're looking for a new church home.
If you ask around, you'll find Burke Mortuary has a reputation for excellence and commitment to value. They've built a reputation of trust for more than 35 years. Burke Mortuary is proud to offer personal attention, meaningful tributes, and the area's most affordable prices. They're also proud to offer you beautiful, state-of-the-art facilities. It's the perfect place to honor your loved one. So when choosing a funeral home, the choice is easy. Choose Burke Mortuary with locations in Maiden and Newton.
In the best of times, no one is more deserving of every opportunity, encouragement, and support than the youth in our communities. Parents, teachers, coaches, and sponsors struggle to stretch their budgets to continue help. Communities need a team effort. Times Oil Corporation, a longtime member of the community, established the Times Educational Alliance Mission, or Team Foundation. Since 2011, over $125,000 in grants have been donated in the community. Times Oil and the Team Foundation are proud to be community partners.
Is that, when they can, they've been going down on Sundays, like, and catching some games and
Now you're talking about the
Charlotte 49ers.
Okay.
Yeah, he's been going down there and catching some games on Sunday. You know, when they're not playing that weekend or they got out early, and he'd actually taken the boys down there, and they've enjoyed going to the games. They've seen some good baseball this year.
I broadcast a few of those games when we were partners with them at ESPN. It's a great little stadium.
Yeah.
It's a nice place out there.
Man.
On
I
campus.
tell you what, Lanny, if they get to the point, well, you know, local product Zach Jarrett, you know, Dale's boy, played at Hickory, played for me at Legion at 48. Zach had a great career down there and really enjoyed his experience. And, you know, they've got good baseball. They've got a great pool to draw from in this area. And you know what I'm saying? Just, you know.
What amazed me, and I'm trying to think, I cannot think of the coach that was there previously, Lauren something. He came from the Kansas area, and I think he retired and went back out there. But the thing that amazed me was the number of pitchers that they had on the team.
Yeah,
I mean, it's like 15, 18 pitchers. There were more pitchers than the
no,
rest
it's
of the
true,
team.
though.
Yeah.
But I tell you, man, think about this. They get to the point where they could possibly be a regional host. They would try to possibly do it in Knight Stadium. You know what I'm saying? And I mean,
I haven't understood why the ACC hasn't moved their ACC tournament down there. That's a bigger stadium than it is in Greensboro.
It is, and I tell you, man, there's a lot of – I mean, you're right. There's a lot of good – there's some really good stadiums all the way from obviously up north where the other ACC teams are, but all the way down. You know,
but you know, they have there's a lot of colleges and universities that have gotten neutral site matchups and come to Charlotte and play because it's such a great facility.
Durham Bulls Park, right? You know,
and give kids an opportunity to play in a stadium like that.
Absolutely. I just think it's good. I mean, it's just, you know, just fun.
Link said the PGA's gone nuts charging so much for everything. Hot dog $7, bottle of water $6. He said all the cost was listed this morning on the Golf Channel. And then Link said there's an arena football team in Charlotte, and there is, owned by ex-Panther Thomas Davis. He's a part owner, Brandon, along with Joe Moss, M-A-U-S, that owns some car dealerships. Joe's a friend of mine in Charlotte, and he's kind of the one that brought it back.
Business.
Yeah,
he is very, very good at
he is. He is. Great guy, too. Does a ton of community-related kind of stuff. I mean, he's involved. He's involved in helping others as well. So he does a great job. Richie said ACC tournament will be at the BB&T Wells Truist Park now. Yeah. Where whatever it is called, where the Knights play. So the ACC tournament is coming to Charlotte. I wasn't aware of that. Thank you, Richie. I did not know that. Let me go back to these USFL TV ratings that I was talking about. They had some games that were over 1.1 million viewers. Now, here's the thing. They're playing them all in Birmingham. There's not a lot of people in the stands, but I've said all along, people want the easier access to it. And I've always been one, I'll pay. If I need to buy a special channel, I mean, I do Fox Sports South. I do all the regional sports networks.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, so that I've got access to games. So I think that's where it's going. And then the other side of it is, and this is the other part, once the legalized gambling picks up a little bit more, that's the other thing that they're going to do is you're going to see more and more that you can sit at home and you can place prop bets and stuff
for the next play
interactively from your TV and stuff.
Yeah, and that's
coming.
Yeah, and I will tell you that from what I understand, okay, and, you know, of course I'm not privy to any more information than anybody else is, but, you know, having had discussions and talked to people about this, I would say, Lanny, that's probably less than see, this will be the 22 season. I think 25 is when I heard we're going to be able to do that in NFL. So
it's got to all be done. You're going to have betting windows in the stadiums.
I think the infrastructure is being put in place right now. And there's going to be some test runs that are going to be done with certain audience, you know, people that are, you know, part of. They're going to do it in a control group, enhance the process, get many of the quirks out as they can, and then they're going to open it up. So it'll be interesting.
And Brandon is right. Fox is a part owner of the league with USFL, so they're pushing it,
and it makes it fun.
That's what it takes.
And quite honestly, it's like, well, without getting into work on my end, but it's kind of like, you know, when you have fund managers, right, and they are doing their fund, are they investing in their own fund? Like, are they really believing in what they are, you know, again, I'm not pushing or promoting anything. I'm just giving examples.
Yes.
And it's kind of like Fox.
You have to believe in your product.
And that's what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
Full disclosure, I'm not.
Yep. No.
I have to be
I'm
very
with you.
careful, and I'm not meaning anything. I'm just giving an example. You know, are you willing to back up your own cooking, I guess, is what you'd say. So, but I think that's important. You know, Fox and the way they're doing things, and I wouldn't be surprised if NBC jumps in there with maybe the XFL again. Is that a possibility?
Yeah, and I was going to get to that. Now, let me give you this. This is what the USFL, part of it that they're doing, okay, is you're using drones. They're using helmet cams.
Yeah.
That, you know, that was one of the things that picked up viewership on the pay side for NASCAR when you started hearing the communications between the crew chief.
Right.
You had the cameras in the car. You're part of it.
Yeah.
And the other thing that I've liked from the very beginning is the communication with coaches on the sidelines. They're mic'd. And I know I was watching one game this weekend, and the coach asked the quarterback, "So what do you think? What should we go with?"
Right, absolutely.
And you get to see what's actually going on. So I think that's a good thing. And the XFL has reached a multi-year agreement with ESPN.
Oh, okay.
And other networks owned by the Walt Disney Company. Okay, so February 23 through the spring, 40 regular season XFL games, 2 playoff semifinals, and a title game will be on ESPN, ABC, and FX. Okay.
So would you think they'll have a commercial where Mickey Mouse will be down at 3-point stance?
I can tell you who won't be on there is Johnny Depp. They've already replaced him as Jack Sparrow. And that woman's crazy he's at court with. I'm just going to tell you. If you follow that. When you have women that come up to you and say, she's a nut, you know, when it's a he said, she said thing, when you got the women on the guy's side saying she's a nut. Then,
I don't know, man.
I'm just saying. 8-team XFL is what will be returning. New owners, Danny Garcia, The Rock. And Jerry, and you may know who this is, Jerry Cardinals, Redbird Capital Partners, must be hedge fund kind of thing, I'm guessing. But they reached a partnership with the NFL, the XFL did, that will focus on creating innovative programs and protecting the health of the players. I've said forever that there needs to be some type of a league where you experiment with things before you implement them. Yeah. Whether it's with the USFL, the XFL, whatever it is. And it was when this thing started the first time. It gives you an opportunity to see it in real life and evaluate it, whether it's something you want to implement on the main side. You know, and I'm trying to remember the name of the league. The
AAF.
No, the
one you and I liked was that.
The honey drippers down in Gastonia. Honey hunters, whatever.
You're talking about the
baseball.
The
International League.
Right.
They're not associated with any clubs.
No.
So that's their
They're independent.
That's their
independent pro guys. Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
their experimental league because then it doesn't have an effect or one club's getting advantage over the other thing. So
very good baseball.
It's one of those things you got to have that,
right?
Because there's too much difference in football between college and pro that you know I wish some of that would standardize a little bit more, but there are changes that need to come to the game, all the games, and it's great that they have a way to evaluate it before they actually implement it.
Well, and I agree, and one of the things that they've talked about with the speed of the players today and how big they are is it's almost like it's field compression. Like there is really no more hash mark. And if you'll notice in the NFL, they're very tiny anyway. They're not way over this side. They're basically almost in the middle. You know what I mean? And that's one of the things that, you know, has been talked about. And I say been talked about, like coaches, you know, players, you know, just things like that. That's one of the things I was talking to Caleb a couple of nights ago, the father that played for us at Maiden, is playing with the Titans. I was talking to him a couple of nights ago, and he's coming in to do a clinic for our kids this summer.
Free clinic.
Yes, he's not. Yeah, it's come on and you know, love football. You know, come out here with us. You know, he's doing a great thing. And you know, that's one of the things that I was going to ask him if he had heard anything. You know, when he gets out here, I'll talk to him for a few minutes, and you know, if they've heard anything else about that, because the field with the speed of the game in pro football, and I dare say in the SEC as well. You know, and in full disclosure, I went to East Carolina, so I hate everybody. I have to. But but the point is, with the speed of the game, is the field too compressed under the current, the current boundaries. Is it not wide enough? Is it not long enough? Is it?
I like the Canadian field.
No,
Sorry.
No, and
it's a little bit bigger.
There's some things to say to say about that as well. And I'm not talking about high school and college. I'm talking about pro football because if you want offense, you've got to be able to spread the field out. That's why the spread offense is so effective in high school and college, because the defenses aren't quite fast enough. And you and I talk about this all the time, and I know talk about zone offense and reads and all this stuff. But Lenny, based on, and again, it's just an opinion, but based on my experience and my opinion with this, and just what I've seen, the field looks way too small in pro football to be able to run that style of offense. That's why things are going to start shifting back to between the tackles and not the tight ends again, because the field they're wasting all their time trying to spread the field when the speed of the defense is greater than offense up front and in the secondary. There's maybe two guys on the defense that can't outrun or keep up with a wideout or a running back, and definitely tight end. That's the issue.
Question for you, Link. You said stadiums are not big enough. Most NFL stadiums that they're building new, they're wanting to go smaller with more luxury items.
Is that what Link was asking?
Well, I'm not sure. That's why I'm asking. And he also said, and I need to take a break, we'll come back to this, the NFL wants to expand worldwide. You can't do it.
Not yet.
The travel part of it just won't work.
And to Link's either question or point about the stadiums, okay, so about a month or two ago, I was over here at the Hub in Maiden, which is a fantastic place to eat. Oh, my gosh, she is wonderful. And she'll cook it the way you like. If you want it specifically off the menu, it's but anyway, she gives you too much food. She's not charging enough. I'm telling you, it's crazy. But I was talking to a guy that's in there that was friends with them, and he runs. He's pretty much ahead of the construction at Panther Stadium. Okay, Bank of America Stadium. And he said everything renovation-wise was not to expand the stadium seating, but to be more specific to your point of the boxes or the seating, the way they got it, like specialized seating. So I thought that was interesting.
And Link was saying, what he was saying, stadiums aren't big enough to make it wider, which is what you need in football.
Right.
Yeah. That's one thing they did fix at Lenore-Ryan, because they had very narrow sidelines for team stand.
With
the renovation.
Yeah.
They had to do that. Rich said NBA courts don't look like they're big enough either. Well, when you don't have travel anymore, I mean that's the way you fix that.
They call it the Euro step. That's the eighth step. It's the Euro step, right?
And Link said, the travel's what's preventing them from a European division. Brandon said, supply and demand on seats. People aren't going, so less seat charges more money for some fans. It's the TV money.
Oh, yeah.
And I want the TV money. I am not interested in the stadium experience.
That was fun when I was like 20.
And I'm not above anybody, but I'll say this because I guess I got spoiled. If I'm going to a Panther game and it's not sweet, I probably ain't going.
Yeah.
I'm not sitting in the bowl. I'm just not. I can enjoy it just as well at home.
Well, think about this. You think about how much it costs for direct, like Sunday ticket, okay, the cost of that, and then the cost of Fox Sports, the regional, things like that. Really, that's one trip to Carolina to a game.
Oh, yeah, one ticket for a family of four. You can't do it.
So I'm not saying the in-game experience isn't great and all that, because we know it is.
And it's wonderful for you if you like it. It's just not for me.
Right. So it gives people that alternative for a very, even though it seems expensive, a very cost-effective price to be able to do.
And especially when you've got a 60, 70, 80 hanging on the wall with surround sound and all the other stuff. Yeah. Let me take a break. We come back. We'll kind of wrap up. I got Juju coming up. We recorded and talked to him earlier this morning.
Untangling your headphones, finding the right remote, saying goodbye to your favorite shirt that hasn't fit in 10 years. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with auto owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who live in your community and answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like finding a new favorite shirt. That's simple human sense.
Call Mooney Insurance in Maiden or East Lincoln Insurance in Denver, or visit mooneyinsurance.com.
Times convenience stores are more than convenient. They're your neighborhood store, your store. With locations in Lincoln, Catawba, Gaston, Iredell, and Mecklenburg counties, there's one near you. Times convenience stores have the right items at the right price, from snacks, cold drinks, and light meals from the grill, and there's always a special to save you time and money. Times has what you need. Times convenience stores, there's one near you. Regardless of where you're going, there's one on your way. Remember, there's always time to stop by Times. Have you thought about when you would like to retire? One of your major assets is planning for retirement is time, and you lose a little of it each day. The longer you wait to start accumulating capital for retirement, the harder it's going to be. How should you plan for retirement? Start by calculating approximately how much capital you will need at retirement, then estimate how much you will have to put away each year. Finally, carefully choose the investments in which you will invest. Stifel Nicholas can assist you. Call 4Rembert today at 828-624-7300. Stifel Nicholas, member SIPC, and the New York Stock Exchange.
First Federal Savings Bank has been serving Lincoln County since 1940. And as it has been from the beginning, customer service is a priority to First Federal Savings Bank. They want to get to know you by name. First Federal Savings Bank has the convenience, the products, and the services that the larger banks have, but with hometown people that you see throughout your community. Stop in and visit one of their 4 convenient locations and see what First Federal Savings Bank has to offer you. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Whether it's a sit-down meal or a call-in for the drive-thru, Brookwood Cafe and Catering is the answer. A variety of meats, vegetables, and desserts cooked daily, or a hot sandwich from the grill, they have what you're looking for to satisfy your taste buds. If you need catering from 5 to 500, Brookwood has you covered as well. Stop by Brookwood Cafe and Catering at 202 Providence Mill Road in Maiden. Don't forget breakfast daily till 11 a.m. Open Tuesday 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., Wednesday through Saturday 6 a.m. till 8 p.m., and Sunday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Call 828-428-8944 to place your order today.
Covenant Church began as a vision of just over 100 people in 1984. Since then, Covenant Church has grown and currently located at 2168 Gastonia Highway in Lincoln. The Sunday schedule includes early morning worship at 8:30, Sunday school at 9:45, and morning worship at 10:45. Their ministries extend beyond Sunday. Visit their website at www.covenantchurch.church to see all they have to offer, and better yet, stop by and see for yourself. Covenant Church may be just what you're looking for a new church home.
If you ask around, you'll find Burke Mortuary has a reputation for excellence and commitment to value. They've built a reputation of trust for more than 35 years. Burke Mortuary is proud to offer personal attention, meaningful tributes, and the area's most affordable prices. They're also proud to offer you beautiful, state-of-the-art facilities. It's the perfect place to honor your loved one. So when choosing a funeral home, the choice is easy. Choose Burke Mortuary with locations in Maiden and Newton.
In the best of times, no one is more deserving of every opportunity, encouragement, and support than the youth in our communities. Parents, teachers, coaches, and sponsors struggle to stretch their budgets to continue help. Communities need a team effort. Times Oil Corporation, a longtime member of the community, established the Times Educational Alliance Mission, or Team Foundation. Since 2011, over $125,000 in grants have been donated in the community. Times Oil and the Team Foundation are proud to be community partners.
Good friend Juju Phillips, as we do each and every Wednesday morning. How are you, sir?
I'm doing fine, Manny. How are you this morning?
I'm good, as well as could be expected, but I just deal with it a day at a time.
That's it. I know how you feel, man. Doing the same thing here at school.
So what's going on in your world?
Well, we're winding down the school year, obviously. This is testing week for local school systems, and so, yeah, we're busy with that. But sports world-wise, thought it interesting. You know, we had a discussion Monday with all the college baseball teams. The playoffs are right around the corner. The NCAA tournament, Division I, Division II, begin later this week in earnest. Some football news to talk about. And again, you know, you played in this game, the East-West High School All-Star game that's played in the summertime down in Greensboro. Well, they finally announced the rosters for the games coming up in July. And there were, I thought it was surprising at least, and I know things have changed down through the years, but on the squads, there were 8 players that have made the East-West game that are, I guess, recruits for LR. 8 of those guys. 4 of them are offense or defensive linemen. I think 3 offensive linemen. A bunch of them are recruits from LR. One of the coaches on the team, the head coach for the East, Reggie Lucas, is the head coach for the East squad. He coaches down in the Raleigh area and has won 3 or 4, I believe, state championships. So when the All-Star game is played later this summer, it's going to have a definite LR flavor with, I think, 8. As I counted them 8, and I double-checked the rosters. There could be more. They might add some players, but there are 8 right now, guys that are LR recruits. And that certainly bodes well maybe for the future in recruiting for LR head coach Mike Jacobs.
I could tell you this, that was the hottest week of my life.
Yeah.
I remember it vividly, and one of the assistant coaches was the legendary Maiden coach, Tom Brown, and he was the offensive line coach, and I had him all week, twice a day.
Yeah, and when you're talking about, and maybe kids, I know things, like we said, things have changed, but it's going to be, it always is. And games I've covered a few, and there's not enough press box, or hasn't been enough room in the press box, so they'd set the media out, and you just sit in the stands and sweat to death. So, yeah, I know it's not like a player, but, the practices leading up to the game, it is extremely hot. And if you're looking at the weather right now, and it's already going to be 90 degrees, and we're talking still late May, what's it going to be like in the mid-July area? So, yeah, it's going to be a hot one. And I guess that'll get some of these kids ready for the college game coming up in August.
I know that we went down, I think it was 2 years ago, with Mooresville in a playoff game in football, and it was against Grimsley, and I guess that's where they still have it, Grimsley High School.
Jameson Stadium, I believe.
And we actually, there's 2 press boxes down there. There's one on each side, and we were actually on the visitor side in the press box by ourselves.
Well, they've upgraded then for the last time I went. I think last time I went was 2018, I believe.
Okay. But that, like I say, that was a playoff game. That wasn't the East-West game.
Okay. All right. So, that football news, that's good to hear.
Yep.
There are some local kids on the squad. Jake Prince, an offense and defensive lineman from Hickory High, who is going to LR. He's one of the players that I noticed on the roster that's from this local area. And there might be some more that I missed. But, again, it's highly unusual, and I'm sure it's a record, to have 8 guys on those squads. And I know a lot of the Division I players, they do not even get selected for this game because, they're either in school already and getting ready for the upcoming season. But a lot of the FCS and Division II teams have a lot of recruits on the rosters of these teams. And for LR to have 8 certainly says a lot about the recruiting efforts for head coach Mike Jacobs.
Yep, we actually, Jamie Pope and I were in it. We actually were in school. We were in summer school at Clemson and took the week off. And what was bad is the game was on Thursday night. We had to drive back from Greensboro to Clemson after the game and then be in class at 8 o'clock on Friday morning. That was part of our deal.
Wow. I talked to one of the parents of the recruits, and he told me, the father told me, that some of these guys, at least for Lenore Ryan, I'm sure it's like this for many of the schools, they come in I guess it would be early July or late June and spend a few weeks on campus at LR and get acclimated to summer school and get all that stuff and maybe have some summer workouts. And then they head down to Greensboro for the week and practice and playing the game and then come right back to LR to do that. So, yeah, I guess it could be worked out. Some schools don't like the fact that they want some of their players playing in those all-star games for the risk of getting injured, but I think it's a good experience to have for sure.
Well, after we got down there, after we got to summer school, we didn't want to go play in that game, and they said, no, you've already committed. That'll put a bad light on us, like we didn't want you or wouldn't allow you to go to play. So we kind of went on through with it.
Yeah, and again, it teaches a lesson of, you make a commitment towards something, then go ahead and do it. Follow through on it.
Yep. What else you got going on, sir?
Really not a whole heck of a lot right now. This is the season of a lot of these high schools and even middle schools that they have these sports banquets. And I just think it's always very cool, Lanny, to if you have a chance to recognize young people for accomplishments on the athletic fields or extracurricular activities, it's a good thing. And I've attended, and you've attended a lot of these banquets down through the years. This makes you feel good that there is a lot of kids out there that have bright futures, and we don't celebrate them maybe enough as much as we should. But it's always good, and I attended one last night. So, yeah, it's always really good to do that kind of thing.
It is. It is. I remember we had when I went to the 9th grade, that was the first year that Lincoln County had junior highs. That's what they were called back in the day. And we actually had one. We had an athletic banquet, and our guest speaker, because our principal was friends with him, was Bones McKinney.
Wow. Did anybody know in 8th and 9th grade who Bones McKinney was?
Yeah, because we were old back then, Juju. We're old now, so that means he was relative back then.
Okay. Well, a lot of these banquets, at least school banquets, they rarely anymore have guest speakers.
Yes.
I remember attending some high school banquets, and they would have guest speakers come in. Indeed.
Every one that I had through my tenure, through from 9th to 12th grade, we had a speaker.
Okay.
Yeah. That was just standard back in the day.
Well,
and the other side of it was, Juju, you didn't give away 700,000 awards. Sorry, I just had to throw that in.
And here's one for you. When I was in high school, we had an athletic banquet. I think it was just a football banquet.
Mm-hmm.
And our guest speaker for our senior year, and we made the playoffs, and we ended up going to the second or third round of the playoffs my senior year, second round, I guess it was, and got eliminated. Our guest speaker was Johnny Majors.
Wow. That's pretty impressive. But he was from your part of the world.
Well, he's from the South, but yeah, he was coaching at Pitt at the time. He was.
Right. That's what I meant. He was up there relative. I'm trying to remember.
And I think it was his last year, to be honest with you, Lanny.
Mm-hmm.
He may have been my junior year, because it was, I think, his last year at Pitt before a guy named Jackie Sherrill took over, and I believe he went back to Tennessee.
He did. When Johnny comes marching home, he took in for Bill Battle. Bill Battle was the coach before Johnny Majors. So
I may have getting my years mixed up, because my senior year would have been 1979, and I know he was gone by then because Dan Marino was the head coach was the quarterback at Pitt.
Mm-hmm.
No, in high school. No, he may have been there. I'm not sure. I got my years mixed up, but I just know that Johnny Majors was our guest speaker at our sports banquet when I was in high school.
Well, our head coach, Dennis Bird, had quite a few connections. We were pretty good about getting folks in that we could get in.
Oh, yeah.
It didn't hurt, let's put it that way. What else you got going on, my friend?
That's about it. This time of the year, everything's kind of focused school-wise on wrapping up the school year.
Mm-hmm. And LR's back in action in baseball tomorrow at North Greenville.
They do. They play tomorrow at noon, and against UNC Pembroke. LR's got a better record, and I believe they're 44-13, maybe something like that. The Bears are in that weird 3-team bracket for the Southeastern Regional. They got to win 2 games, or they got to win, I think, 3 games to win the championship. 3 games, I think,
of that particular
bracket.
Right.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But anyway, they're hoping they're going to throw their ace. Tomorrow is Josh Lanham, all South Atlantic Conference pitcher. I think he's got 10 or 11 wins, tied to school record. So they're going to go with their best against UNC Pembroke, a team that they haven't played in about 5 years and only played a handful of times. So good luck to Chris Ramirez and his team. Lenore Ryan in the playoffs for only the NCAA tournament for only the second time in school history. And first time in 20 years that they've been able to do that. So they've had a wonderful season. They hope to keep it going tomorrow on the road at North Greenville.
Yeah, and I want to say they've got the best overall record, correct? At school history, baseball.
Oh, yes. Yeah. They shattered that.
Total number of wins.
Yeah.
All the above.
They've hit more home runs than any team in school history. They have the most wins, most strikeouts that they've struck out. Their pitching staff has struck out a record in the SAC and in school history. So, yeah, they've had they've had a season to remember. I mean, it's been a historic season for them. They hope to keep it going in the Southeast Regionals. And again, baseball for LR has changed quite a bit over the last 20 years when they last made the NCAA tournament. They're 1-2 overall lifetime in the NCAA tournament. They hope to advance on and maybe get to the College World Series in D2, which is played just outside of Raleigh in Cary, North Carolina. Yeah, that'll be fun to watch.
What is isn't that where they have the baseball championships for high school? Or at one time they did.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I'm trying to remember the name of the complex. There's a complex there, but
yeah. And then last year they had a major league tryout type thing, like showcase for all the high school kids that were going to get drafted in Major League Baseball last year. They had it at the same complex. So yeah, very popular. And again, for the Division II teams, that is the home of the College World Series.
Right. All right, my friend. Well, just try to stay cool as the week goes on.
Hey, that's all you can do, Lanny.
Yep. We'll try to be back outside on the porch next Monday night. And if I don't talk to you before then, have a great weekend.
All right. Thank you, my friend.
Take care. We'll take a time out and be back with more here on The Bottom Line. And we're not going to take a time out. How about that? We're going to jump right back in here because we're just about out of time. We kind of swapped things around just a little bit here today. But that's okay. That's okay. We do what we had to do. Our conversation we had before the break, there's something that's held at Cary. I just don't remember what it is. Isn't there?
I'm looking.
Something from the state?
I want to say it's softball because they've got the multi-complex.
Yeah, I think there's a big softball complex.
Yeah, they host Division II, I think, baseball
That's
state
right.
championship
That's
as well.
right. Mm-hmm.
And it's the right – I got to tell you, Laney, the way they do softball is different than baseball. They get the 8 teams in there, and they start playing. All right, baseball, you got, your 2 4A winners, and they play 2 out of 3. Your 2 2A, you know what I'm saying, all that, right? So, but yeah, they do it right. And it's a good facility. It's easy to get in and out of. It's very fan-friendly. You can go to multiple games, do this, do that. And Quinn played, let's see, when was that? Maybe when he was 13 or 14, we played in a tournament. And I think on either Saturday or the Sunday, we played down that way, and I had a chance to go through. It's just a point is it's a really nice place to do that.
Yeah. And when they can, that's kind of one of the complaints about when they do the football championship games, if they're spread out at multiple universities. Richie said he thought the soccer championships, NCAA soccer championships, are in Cary. Yeah. And there may be. I just can't remember. Bill Klein, good morning. Glad to have you.
Mr. Klein.
I don't remember. I just couldn't remember what it was. That was the biggest thing. Let me see if we got any other headlines that I'm missing anywhere.
Oh, yep. So I did hear let's see, how can I put this? I was talking to a friend. I can do that. I was talking to a friend, and apparently there's going to be some major changes that are going to likely occur to the portal starting in 2024. So they're going to have to let it play out for another year and a half to go, but give everybody plenty of time. But what's happening is a lot of the coaches, I mean, Dabo, Saban, all of them, what's happening is it's become a recruiting tool without them actually going out and recruiting.
Yeah, but you can do that anyway through what's it called? Where all the film is? Huddle?
Oh, I meant for the players that are existing.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Doing it that way, right? And I think what is projected, and the feel is already starting to get into the room, that it's getting too much about business, and the stability and long-term effects and ramifications of that will lead to the demise of smaller programs within Division I.
That's correct.
Where you're really going to have a focus of about 5 teams that are mega teams, and they're going to step in, and it's very likely that they're not going to give –
But that's kind of where we're at anyway.
Yeah, they're going to go back to things like if you move, you've got to sit out a year. They're going to propose not losing a year of eligibility, but you still got to sit out. Now, again, none of this – again, this is just here conversation.
And you know
hearsay.
what? I can live with the with the sit out a year, like a red shirt year, let you participate in practice and all those kind of things? As long as you don't take a year of eligibility. I don't want you to take a year of eligibility away.
Yeah, and I think they're going to give grace
but just one time.
Right. I think they're going to give grace to players whose coaches, like, for example, when they go in within the first 2 years and you have a coach leave, then they're going to allow that to open up. Now, there's going to be things that aren't fair or don't seem fair or don't seem right. But they're going to have to fix this because it's
consuming the game now. It's
you can hire
really
Lincoln Riley to go to USC.
Yeah.
And
pay
him,
players.
Pay him now they're not paying this, but pay him $40 million for a year, and then all of a sudden you've got 3 or 4 of the top, maybe the top two quarterbacks. I'm just giving an example.
Yeah.
Top 2 quarterbacks who were at another school decide to go play for him because they said what he did with Hurts, Jalen Hurts within a year, which was amazing. All right.
Quarterback whisperer.
Yeah, there's just some I don't know, man. Hopefully they can get it. Whatever they do, I hope they get it right. Well, because right now it's not. It's a joke.
It's like I said. They turned their back on it, pretended like it would never happen, and then when it got forced on them, they weren't ready. There was no planning, if they had taken the initiative to put things out there and get some framework and structure, it would have been a lot better off. But because they didn't, it became the Wild West.
And it's one thing that you and I talk about, and I talk to my kids about, and of course the kids that I coach are just, in general, friends of mine, even clients of mine, when you look at things, theoretically, having the longer-term approach keeps you from making reactionary decisions that are unbeneficial for you in the long term. They may feel good for now and like you're doing something, but a lot of times when you're reactionary, you're doing something because you feel like you got to do something instead of knowing that you got to do it. And there's a difference.
I want to plan instead of always working on reaction.
Yes.
Reaction just don't work out.
I just, look at things like 0 to 18 months out, 3 to 5 years, 7 to 10 years plus. When you're able to categorize and box things, it takes a lot of the emotion out of decision making and allows you to prosper or have a greater opportunity to prosper long term.
Emotional decisions don't work well.
Well, that's why fights, y'all, if you have them with a spouse or with anybody else, there's always things that are said, because of, and you're not looking out 10 years. Number one, does this really matter what's going on? If it does, it needs to be addressed. But in the grand scheme of things, does it really matter?
Yeah.
And if it doesn't, then don't worry about it. Yep. 5 years out, 10 years out.
I agree.
Yeah.
All right, we're out of here. The man will be back tomorrow. We'll do it all again right here at 8 a.m. Hope you can join us. Have a good day, folks.